Welcome everyone. I am Robert with Amista Vineyards, and we have Vicky and Mike Farrow, the proprietors. We have Ashley, the winemaker with Amista Vineyards, and we have our, and Tammy, our tasting room manager, and our special guest, Tara Jasper with Sipsong Spirits here in Healdsburg. And we are so excited about this virtual tasting, and there will be series to come, which we're excited about, that we'll tell you a little bit about towards the end. But first of all, why do we do this? We want to get some wine in your glasses. So why don't you pop your bubbles, pour a little bit of sparkling, our Blanc de Blanc.
Yippee!
Good sounds.
It is a good sound.
So one of the things that we like to do is in your name on your screen, if you could put your first name and where you're from. You never know who might be right next door. And we love to make connections and new friends.
Here, Jen, I'll do that.
Here, you do it. I don't know.
I can't see it. Yeah.
Well, that's done.
Where's everybody from? Tammy, Amista, Tara. Yeah, Chicago, yes. Allison is with us again.
And happy birthday, Allison.
It's your birthday?
It was on Tuesday.
Wow.
It's
And my
John's
college
birthday tomorrow.
Oh, John's tomorrow. Happy birthday.
Wow, happy birthday, John.
Thank you.
Forever 21, right?
Yep.
Hi, Taya.
Hi there.
My college roommate's on. Hi, Jan.
Cool.
Yay.
We have Jill and Lori, and it's my birthday now.
Happy birthday.
I think we should drink champagne, don't you?
We are.
Absolutely.
Always a
Blanc
good.
de Blanc, not drinking fabulous Blanc de Blanc.
That's right.
The last time you were with us, you were on different screens. Now you're together. Cheers.
Correct. Oh, memory. I'm impressed. And I'm taking off the virtual background because you actually can't see.
I'm going in.
Yeah, Jill's going in and out. So I'm
In
gonna
and out.
take this off. Although I'm in the middle of, oh, good.
There you go. That's there you go.
So anyway, this Blanc de Blanc seems to go down pretty easy. I thought that we would start off is have, over the next 45 minutes, we're going to kind of go through this whole process of hearing about Ashley and the Blanc de Blanc and a little bit about Amista, and also about Tara and her background in Sipsong Spirits and what brought her to craft these amazing gins that she is producing. So why don't we start off first, since we've got the Blanc de Blanc in our glass. Ashley, why don't you tell us about this?
All right. Hi, everybody. Thanks for being here today. I'm Ashley Herzberg. I'm the winemaker at Amista. We are drinking our 2018 Blanc de Blanc right now. So Blanc de Blanc means white of whites, basically which means 100% Chardonnay in this case. All of our sparkling wines come from our estate property.
Yep.
And this one's no exception. And, you know, we don't vintage date our bottles, but this is 100% from the 2018 vintage. And 2018 was a winemaker's dream vintage. It was so beautiful. We had lots of rain in the winter, a really moderate growing season, and this big cool down in August, where temperatures dropped almost into the 60s, which is very unusual here in California in August, or in Healdsburg. And that held on, that made the flavors develop while the vines were not really accumulating sugar, or the grapes weren't accumulating as much sugar. So we got about 2 or 3 weeks extra hang time on this Blanc de Blanc, on our Chardonnay clusters. And all of that translated into a really intense flavor. So all of our sparkling wines are method champenois. So that means that each one is fermented in its individual bottle for secondary fermentation. And I don't know if you guys can see, but in your glasses, there's really tiny, delicate bubbles. And because it's fermented under pressure and it's naturally fermented by yeast, that's what gives it that really delicate bubble. And I think that definitely makes a difference, especially as we're gonna taste this cocktail in a little bit. It makes a huge difference, you know, when you're mixing it with everything, but it's pretty good all by itself too. So thanks, guys.
So we have new faces here. We have wine club members. Alex and his wife are brand new wine club members, and he was excited about experiencing this whole cocktail idea with our Blanc de Blanc. So welcome. So Tara, I think this would be a great time for you to tell a little bit about your background, about Sipsong, how that became, and then we can get right into some mixing.
Sure. Yes. Thank you, Robert and Ashley and Mike and Vicky. I'm so grateful to be here with you guys. Your bubbles are gorgeous. And Ashley, it is teeny tiny, so delicate, so beautiful. And really to make the most incredible French 75, if you're going to be one of those people that seeks out the best of beverage, you need to have a gorgeous sparkling wine and a gorgeous gin. And then you will make the most incredible French 75. And so this cocktail actually originated after World War II. There was a big gun used during World War II. It was 75 caliber or something. I don't really know my guns at all, but basically the bartender who created it took really good French champagne and just wanted to increase the strength because everybody needed just a little bit more right then. And it makes me think right now at the end of the pandemic, we all need just a little stronger drink. So that's what this is. It takes your bubbles and it just makes it a little stronger. And so how did I get to be making gin? I will tell you that story, but maybe we should make our cocktail and then I could tell you the whole background. But basically I'm one of those people that seeks out the very best food, the very best beverage and pairings. And that's kind of been my life's journey, is in search of those things. So I went to culinary school. I fell in love with wines, Pinot Noirs, food and beverage pairings, which is mostly done with wines. And it led me to realizing that everything I'd ever studied and applied myself to studying made it so that I had this unique capability to, once I learned how to distill, I realized that gin was something that I could add a whole new perspective to. I tried every gin I could get my hands on and still am. And I don't think anyone's created one quite like my Indira. So if you pop your bottle and you just give it a little smell, it's not a London dry, it's a modern style gin. And so beautiful. Originally I made it with 100% grape. So if you have the one that has the old fashioned style B, that one is 100% grape. There's still a few bottles of those out there. You guys, I don't know if you have the new B or the old B, but the new watercolor B has a blend of grape and corn. Anyway, it's a long story as to why I did that, but let's go over. So you need your gin, open that. You've already opened your bubbles, so that's a good step. I like to use one of these juice squeezers. Take your lemon and your knife and just cut your lemon in half. So you'll have that ready to go. I like to use, if you're gonna make like an ultra fine cocktail, get one of these little doodads, doohickeys. You don't have to do that, but that's what like the bartenders in the restaurants will do, because otherwise you'll end up with some little chips of ice and it just aesthetically and a mouthfeel wise is not quite as nice. So if you have one of these little doohickeys, great.
Technical term, doohickeys.
Yeah, doohickeys. And if you have one of these, they make a really beautiful garnish. but you could also use a peeler, a veggie peeler for a garnish. So I'm just gonna take one of my other lemons and make a little garnish. I like to do my garnish first because once I make the drink, I just want to drink it, you know? I don't want to wait. Make a garnish. So I'll take that little guy and just curl him around my finger, make a tight little curl. Oh, it smells so good. These Meyer lemons are so beautiful. Am I saying it right? Meyer lemons. Meyer. I always say it wrong. Okay.
And those that received their packs from Amista, these came off from my tree.
And if you got it from Sipsong, they came from my sister's tree or my dad's tree or my tree, one of our trees.
You're beautiful.
Yeah. We live in a citrus heavy community. It's amazing how much citrus we have. Okay, so I just made this little twirly, and I'm gonna stick that on my glass. I like to play around with some vintage stemware. So I've got this cute little coupe. And then, so take your shaker and start adding things. Don't add the ice until the very end because you don't want to start diluting your cocktail. So I like to do my gin first. And my gin, basically, I was trying to hit every part of your palate with this gin. So like a London dry gin, you're going to do 1.5 ounces, which if you have one of these little shaker, these little jiggers, the big side is 1.5 ounces. So just fill up the big side. Okay, there. And basically a London dry gin is very juniper forward. It's probably what most of you think of when you think of gin, because that's mostly what we have in the US. And it's not what I wanted. I really wanted a softer, more balanced, not so much juniper hitting me over the head. And as I became someone who had very little tolerance for red wine, unfortunately, I could drink bubbles and whites, but I wanted some more complexity. And so gin seemed like the right category, but I wasn't finding what I was looking for. So I just started trying to make my own. So that's kind of how that happened. Okay, so we have our gin. Now we're gonna do our lemon. So you know what? Your recipe cards are actually off by a little bit. So it says 0.25 ounce, so 1/4 ounce. I actually want you guys to do 3/4 of an ounce with this Meyer lemon. God, I can never get it right. I'm super not an English major. No, I'm a math and science person. Okay. And grammar is also not my strong suit. So, all right. So basically that's half of your big jigger. So you just are going to half the amount of gin, do half that amount of lemon. We're getting our vitamin C tonight. That's one of the things I like about cocktails. They're good for you, right? They are.
So Tara,
yeah.
I have a question.
Yeah.
If you were using just regular lemons and not Meyer lemons because they're a little more acidic, would you use a lower quantity of lemon juice?
You could either do that, or you could up your syrup a little bit.
Oh, okay.
Or it would be on the tart side. It would be more tart. Okay. Because the Meyer is a little bit more sweet, it doesn't need as much simple syrup. So that's one of the lovely things, but it doesn't have that same bite of tartness. Okay, so now I've got my 1/2 ounce simple, 3/4 of an ounce of lemon, and 1.5 ounce of gin in my shaker. Hopefully I'm not going too fast. Trying to go nice and slow. And then I'm gonna add my ice. Like a cup of ice is good. And this is one of those cocktails that you don't want to dilute it too much. Like some cocktails, I would say shake it for 30 seconds, like really dilute it. But this one, I don't feel like you need to shake for quite as long. But okay, ready? It's gonna get loud. It's the fun part. Oh. So I usually go about like 15 seconds of shaking. Hopefully nobody was timing me there. Okay. Yeah, I got a nice little froth, but not like so frothy that, or so icy that it's like.
No ice yet?
Yeah, it's not showing on the outside, but it's just perfect. And then you're gonna put that through one strainer, the strainer on my cocktail glass, and then the second strainer gets those ice chips. Basically, you're emulsifying the lemon and the gin together, which is why whenever you're doing a citrus cocktail, you want to shake it. You don't want to just stir it. The citrus is better when you shake it. Okay, so there's my, I don't know if you guys, yeah, you can see my glass. And next we're gonna add those beautiful tiny bubbles and just pour nice and slow, and never, ever, ever shake your bubbles. So the bubbles always go in last.
Never.
And you don't want to damage them.
Never shake your bubbles.
Never, ever, ever. Yeah, so nice and gentle pour. And it's just so beautiful. Oh my God, I forgot one of the steps. I was so eager. We have our, I'm sorry guys. We have our absinthia, which is supposed to line your glass. So if you haven't poured into your glass yet, stop and squirt your glass with this. 1 to 2 sprays. I'm just gonna go over the top with mine, which is okay too, but
you can also go or just in the glass.
In the glass, like hold it. So like if this is your glass, like hold it and squirt inside the glass. Probably one squirt is enough, but it's pretty powerful stuff. You can give it a little smell. It's beautiful. I actually tasted, let's see, I tasted 8 different absinthes before I found the one that I wanted to go in this cocktail. And this was it. And it just happened to be a female maker as well. So this is 100% female made cocktail right here, which is cool.
Awesome.
Except for Robert's lemons.
Oh, sorry, Robert. Yes, you're totally right. I'm so sorry. Robert's lemons. It is a collaboration of the sexes. Cheers, everybody. Thank you so much for having me.
Cheers. So let's taste it. And then I'd love for everybody to throw their glass up when we're ready, and we'll take a screenshot. So let's taste it.
I love it.
Oh, my garnish keeps falling off.
Oh yeah, just let it float inside there. Just stick it in.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
Isn't it so fun? This is the perfect.
This is so good.
Thank you. Your bubbles are the perfect, most amazing bubbles to go in this drink. I told you that when we first started out. I love it. Mm.
Well,
that's true.
It's funny, the last week we'll good friends we were on.
So we've been collaborating for a while.
Yeah, so actually, Ashley, Tara, why don't you talk about your history together as friends?
Yes. So we have this fabulous group of women friends who we all have children the same age, but we all knew each other before children. I feel like, Ashley, I met you. When did we meet? Remind me. I mean, I feel like we've been friends for a really long time. Remind me.
It's been a really long time. I mean,
yeah.
It's like hard to remember a time when I didn't know you, but yeah, it was pre-children. And then I think our group got much tighter. There's about 30 of us that are really close, good friends. And pre-COVID, we saw each other on a pretty regular basis, and we stay in touch all the time. Tara and I have kids the exact same ages. She has twins that are the same age as my daughter, and then a son the same age as my son. So yeah, our kids have gone to preschool together, and they've been buddies for a long time. So yeah, so when Tara started making gin, you know, it's definitely something that I was excited to support her in. And it turned out that we worked very well together making cocktails. So cheers, my friend.
Cheers, my friend. Yes, to the parties that will happen once COVID is over. Cheers.
Exactly.
I can't wait for all of them.
So if everybody's ready, why don't we raise our glasses and cheers to friendship. And Tammy, could you take the screenshot?
Wait, there we go. Yeah. Your face.
Cheers, everybody.
Cheers.
Cheers.
So some exciting things. We decided to do this with Tara back last fall to do a sparkling cocktail for our sparkling holiday party, which was the first weekend in December. So she paired her gin and created a simple syrup with thyme. And we named it Truly Madly Sparkling. And it was such a treat for our club members that joined us for the sparkling holiday party. And we
Don't forget the orange oil. There was orange oil in there.
Orange oil too.
And cranberry and oh, it was so good.
I mean, it was so delicious. So we decided that we would do the French 75, and just earlier it was at the end of last week, I gave Tara a bottle of our sparkling Grenache that she's created a cocktail with her spring gin that she'll be releasing in May. We're really excited about that. And we're going to do another virtual tasting to kick off the release of hers and our precious sparkling Grenache that we sell out of every year. So stay tuned for that. And if you'd love to join us, the virtual tasting card that has the QR code, if you scan that on your camera, on your phone, it'll take you to, there you go, Jill. It'll take you to our virtual tasting page. Keep your eyes out. I still haven't, this is all so new. I have not put it up on our website yet, but there are other virtual tastings that you can join us as well. And what a great way, partnership between Tara and Ashley and Vicky and Mike and Amista. And it's just, this is such a fun experience for all of us. And to be able to
feel like it's blossoming, just like all the spring blossoms right now. And honestly, that Grenache sparkling was mind-boggling. It took me 3 days to even, so it was on the third day that I finally made a cocktail with it, but I just had one glass of it each day, and those bubbles held, Ashley, beautifully. Don't put them in the door of your refrigerator. If anybody doesn't know this trick yet, if you open sparkling, I mean, you can drink it all in one day, but if you put it in the back where it's cold and it's not going to move, it will last 3 days. But so, anyway, it was so beautiful, and I was like, oh, I got to do this justice. And so my spring gin previous, it's sort of like a vintage. I make it with fresh botanicals from Healdsburg, and you know, the botanicals are not going to be the same that they were that year. I hope that they are, because it was so spectacular that year, but I sold out of it. So it'll be a new vintage, but I used cherry blossoms. I used fava flowers and pea tendrils and all these bright flavors that are happening in Healdsburg. And with like that raspberry and that Grenache was just so gorgeous. And I used the tiniest bit of cherry liqueur, lemon, and I used my Fight Like a Girl syrup. Actually, it's a grenadine. Sorry, it's a grenadine. So the kits will come with the grenadine that I make, and yeah, it's super exciting. So I also really am excited to share with you guys more about what Fight Like a Girl is all about, because that's turning into a thing.
Excellent. Yeah, we're super excited. And for
I was going to show you also, just for those who haven't seen our sparkling Syrah that went into the, what is it called, Robert?
Truly Madly Sparkling.
Truly Madly Sparkling. This is our sparkling Syrah, which I like to refer to as joy in a bottle. So Tara made it into a huge hit.
Oh, well, it's delicious all on its own, and that's what makes the best cocktails, right?
Yes.
You want every ingredient to be amazing.
Yeah, so it's, you know, it's interesting that our sparklings, we've really become known as the sparkling house of Dry Creek Valley. We're this small little producer of state-grown sparkling wines, for those of you that don't know Amista. So we make, we grow on property Chardonnay, Grenache, Mourvedre, Syrah, and we make a rosé of each of those into sparkling. But we also have these incredible still wines too that Ashley makes, but the sparkling ones are the great ones for cocktails. And we're 100% direct to consumer, so you can't find us out in the supermarket or in bottle shops. It's all directly from us in the tasting room or through our website. So it's kind of that special little find for those of you who haven't been with us before. And what was that? Life is too short for bad bubbles, Kim and John.
I agree with that 100%. Drink bad anything, yeah. Bad gin too. Don't do it. That's just bad.
All right, your gin.
So what do you guys think? What do you guys think? We want to hear from you.
Love the gin. It's citrus forward. It's not the London dry gin style. I like it a lot. It's very refreshing. I was drinking it straight, by the way. So.
And that's what I really wanted people to do. Actually, it's funny, but well, I usually send my bottles out with a card that teaches them how to see all the different aspects. So try it neat. Try it with an ice cube. Add a splash of tonic. If you're a gin and tonic person, my favorite tonic is the Fever Tree Naturally Light.
Fever Tree.
Yes, but not the Indian. I don't feel like the Indian is the right one for my gin. I'm so nerdy. I'm like, okay, just like go with me here. If we're talking Michelin star, yes, then please do either the Naturally Light, elderflower, or Mediterranean with my Indira. That would be the proper pairings. And then garnish it with an orange, because the citrus you're tasting is actually Moroccan sweet orange, which I tasted every variety of dried orange that I could get. And the Moroccan sweet orange is just ridiculous. It's like makes your mouth water. It's so good. Awesome. So that's within the gin.
By the way, if anybody happens to have honey syrup lying around like I do, if you add it to this beautiful French 75, it makes it pop.
Really? Oh my God! Instead of a simple,
I didn't have any simple made up, but I had made some wildflower honey from the farmer's market, and I'm local. I'm in Santa Rosa, so it just made everything pop.
Oh,
girl, I love it.
I love it.
I used that as well. I didn't read the recipe card until like 10 minutes before. I should know these things, but I was like, oh, simple syrup. But I used some honey, simple syrup, and oh my God, it's like the best cocktail that I've ever had. It's so good.
And it's all local. It ties it all together.
I used
agave. Agave, yeah.
That might work.
Oh, I love this. Tara, do you have a recommendation for a simple syrup, or like, do you have something that you like is your go-to?
Well,
like,
simple's really
sugar and water.
It's called simple for a reason. So it's just equal parts water and sugar, equal parts.
Just make it.
And the gin is kicking in right about now. Okay, so
it's Friday. The gin's kicking in.
You just heat it up and whisk it for a minute. But the funny thing is, it's really easy for me, anyways, to walk away from my simple syrup and catch the house on fire. So I can't tell you how many times I've done that. So my husband actually, I have handcuffs. I handcuff myself to the stove when I make simple syrup. Because I always walk away. There's 3 kids in this house. I walk away. There's somebody who needs me. There's like, you know, and then the next thing I know, the smoke alarms are going off and I'm running around.
We have a bracelet for our water trough for the horses for exactly the same reason. I kept overfilling the water trough, so eventually my wife got me an actual bracelet that I put on my wrist.
It's pretty funny.
You know, Siri is also a really good timer.
It's just, you don't need to walk away. It's that fast. It's that simple. Like it takes like 30 seconds. Like just sit there. Just don't walk away.
Well, Alexa, to remind you, Alexa, set a timer for 30 seconds.
Right.
Everybody's Alexa is about to light up, by the way.
I got a question about the thyme simple syrup. So Robert, I think I sent you, did I send you the recipe for the thyme simple syrup?
Or do you, when we did the Truly Mad with Sparkling, yeah.
I did. Do you still have it?
Gotta like your electrician.
I absolutely do.
You're like my memory bank. I'm like, I don't know. I just create, and I'm really bad at writing things down. Thank goodness I wrote down the recipe for Indira, because that happened in a very inspired moment after coming back from England and being ginicated over there. And I just couldn't wait to get home. I had all these flavor ideas, got into my lab and went nuts. And luckily I wrote everything down.
Wait, Tara, I feel like post-COVID, we should go on a little field trip excursion and get ginicated and maybe go to Champagne. And I don't know what the word would be for that, but maybe we should take some of our members.
Yes.
I'm coming.
I'm so due to Europe it up. Let's Europe it up.
I'm in.
Fabulous idea, Ashley.
How do you make?
We enjoy being able to drink with others instead of by ourselves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So wait, there's
so
a
how
question.
do you make how do you make the thyme simple syrup?
Oh, good question. So I made that back in like October or November. I'll have to, so I think there was cranberry juice and equal parts sugar. And then I took thyme from my garden. So I brought that to like, not quite a simmer, but until the sugar was melted. And then I peeled an orange and I squeezed the peel. So the oil, like the fresh oil went into it. Actually, though, I did that after. So hold on, don't do that yet. So melt the sugar, add the thyme and let it cool. So let it cool with the thyme in there. And then take that orange and shoot that into there, and then pull the thyme out and then stick it in your fridge, and it'll last like probably
for
a
a very
month.
long time.
Yeah, pretty good long time because of all that sugar. And
time.
Yeah, you're funny. It's fabulous. Sorry, I get drunk off of one of these. These are strong.
Professional tip: if you like cranberries like I do, buy all the cranberries during cranberry season, and you'll still have them in your freezer in March, like me. So I'm gonna go make thyme simple syrup right now.
I love.
I'm with you, Taya. We buy cranberries just like that, and we have them all year.
Like half my freezer is cranberries still, because I like the tartness of it in cocktails especially.
I love this idea. I think I'm gonna do this maybe tomorrow. I think I've already had my limit of doing things today, but tomorrow I didn't get to have that cocktail before because I was in quarantine at that time. So I'm gonna have to try that, Tara.
Yes.
So Tara, I tried to make my lemon thing curl around and I couldn't do it. What is the trick?
You know, I don't know if I totally know the trick, because if you if you can see mine's just like a big circle.
Well, so is mine now. You know,
so Vicky,
mine held for a minute. I think you have to twist longer, like hold it longer, or maybe even do it around a straw, like tight.
Yeah.
Myers are harder because they have a really soft skin,
that's
regular lemon. But the secret to making the perfect twist, no matter what citrus you're using, is slice a slice of the twist first. Don't try and peel it off, and then you're going to cut the rind off and then hold it together.
Say that again.
By the way, I'm not a bartender.
Too much.
No, you're an expert, dude.
You're a rock star. Yeah.
I work in tech during the day, but I'm a wine writer and a spirits writer at night. If you slice a slice of your citrus, whether it's lemon or orange or whatever, and then you're going to cut away the fruit from that slice, and then you wrap it around something that holds together better than if you just pull the rind off with a channel knife.
So don't just use this. Don't just do that thing.
Right, because what happens when you use a channel knife like that, you're not getting the pith, and the pith has the membrane that holds it together. And so that holds the
Okay,
very
thank you.
Cool. Good. Thank you, Thea.
I'll be here for all your amateur bartending tips.
I was just thinking,
Thea, I miss you so much.
I miss you
do.
too. I want my shot so badly. I'm like 10 minutes away and I can't see anybody. It's so sad.
I know.
Yeah, I'm very excited.
But that's why it's awesome that we get to do things like this, so that we get to connect.
It's true.
It's so awesome. Thank you so much, you guys. Thank you for organizing this, Robert.
Well, yes, thank you all.
So who haven't we heard from? I want to make sure we get to say hi to everybody.
You haven't heard from me. Okay.
Oh, hi, Jennifer.
And George and Pat are with me.
Yeah. Yes, I saw that. Hey, George and Pat.
Hi.
Hi.
And we're going to be up soon. We're almost, well, they got their second shot today, and I get my second shot in 2 weeks.
Oh, good.
We don't get advantage to being old.
So you're in Santa Clara. You're not too far away. Who is the furthest away from us, I wonder?
Chicago.
Okay.
North Carolina. We're in North Carolina.
That's pretty far.
We're the East Coast crew over here.
Yeah.
So North Carolina and Florida.
Ooh, Florida. Who's Florida?
We're the Florida people.
Yeah.
Where in Florida are you guys from?
We're in Fort Lauderdale right now, and I live in Hollywood.
Nice.
And where are you?
In the middle. Oh, Colorado. We're in the middle.
Yeah, you're in the middle. You're in the middle.
We're here with our daughter, Erica, and her husband, Eric.
Oh, I wondered who that was.
I saw you looking at us, Vicki.
How could you tell I was looking at you?
We like lean in like this.
Yeah, you lean forward. I have to walk forward to the screen to be able to see it.
I told Mike, that's my college roommate and her husband, but I don't know who those other people are, so.
I'd like to say that I have been Zooming with
Since mom and dad are vaccinated now, we can all get together.
Yay.
I've been on Zoom since last March with second graders, and this is the most fun I've had on Zoom.
I'll vote for that.
I feel your pain there.
I cannot imagine being on Zoom with second graders. Bravo, bravo.
Tara and I both have third grade. Yeah, Tara and I both have third grade boys, so we feel your pain, and I am so sorry to all teachers everywhere forever.
I'm so sorry, and I'm baking things for mine, and they're getting gin at the end of the year. You better believe it.
Wine has been dropped off.
It gives me access
You could be my homeroom mom anytime, Tara. Bring the gin. It's delicious. What it's done, it's kind of given us a little springtime flavor up here in the mountains when we were sitting in 23-degree weather today.
Oh, yeah, it'll
this
warm
has
you
been
up.
really, really nice.
Oh,
Yeah.
good. I'm so glad.
So I just have to tell you though that the corporate people aren't much better on Zoom, folks.
No,
And when they're like, 10 hours a day, 5 days a week. Trust me, I'd take second graders as a nice change.
I 100% agree because I have been on Zoom since 7 a.m. today, and I finally escaped at 3 p.m. Oh, this is my life. This is how I get paid, but it's just like, they are definitely not any better than second graders.
Except what I understand is the second graders, the screen is all black because they don't have to turn their cameras on.
That
So
is
you
true.
Yeah.
That is
Well,
true.
I make mine turn theirs on. Do you make yours turn them on?
Yeah, absolutely.
And we're on 8:30 to 1:30 every day. And oh yeah, I have to say, I don't think it's that much different than being with them in person. And I can meet them all when I want to.
Use them all when I want to.
Oh my gosh.
That's kind of awesome. That's really awesome.
And then you have teenagers, and Alex teaches 6 through 8.
It's rough, but I do make them turn their cameras on because otherwise it just gets very sad talking to a room of voiceless screens.
Well, and also then they don't even get to interact if they're all blacked out, right? And there's no social interaction.
I know. It's like pulling teeth with them. I know that they would do better interacting with each other more, but they're all hesitant to do it. I think they're all pretty shy about it.
Yeah. Wow.
Our son-in-law teaches high school, and he has a plan that when he calls on somebody virtually and they don't answer, he marks them absent.
Oh
Unfortunately, that doesn't work in the corporate world because we have unlimited vacation.
Anything, by the way,
Taking 2020 off then.
Oh my
I
God.
need a new job, apparently. I need infinite
Okay,
vacation.
somebody asked a question about the absinthe. So this cute little bottle here, and it's made by a woman whose name is Absinthia.
Wow.
And I think that her parents named her Absinthia, and then she spent her life figuring out how to make the most amazing absinthe. And it honestly is the best absinthe. And it's made in the Swiss method, which is distilled. So it's clear. She's also made a vert, a green, and infused. Sorry, there's an airplane going overhead and I'm outside. It's really loud. But this is the most clean and beautiful absinthe that I've ever tasted, and I love it. And she's right here in the Bay Area. She makes it in Oakland, so super cool.
Oh, cool.
It doesn't get right. It gets you real quick.
Yeah.
The moonshiner show. They try to make it.
You can buy it in case now. Yes.
I'm ready for another one.
Yeah, I do.
Another.
And I was gonna say that I don't usually, I usually feel like I'm working and I usually don't drink very much on these things, but mine's almost gone.
Mine is gone.
Delicious.
I don't drink.
This felt much more like hanging out with friends, I will say, than actually, Zoom working.
I love it. Cheers. If I didn't have to drive right now, I would make another one. I'm going to have dinner with my dad because he's fully vaccinated.
Yay. It's awesome.
Well, I can't thank you all enough for joining us. People that have been with us before, new people that had joined based on Tara sending out the email. If you would like to be included in on future virtual tastings, you can either put your email address in the chat box and Tammy will take that, or by keeping track of us on using the QR code on that little insert that we included. I'm updating it on a regular basis. I just added, thank you, Jill. Vanna. So again, it's 2020 and 2021, we found new ways to connect and make new friends, and we're so excited about our upcoming virtuals and really connecting with everybody. So I think that's it.